So first and foremost, I do want to apologize that it took me so long to get around to talking about episode 20 and 21 of Sagrada. With all the anime that had been going on breaks for a couple of weeks to a week on end, I just for whatever reason I think assumed that this went on break, and it wasn't until the weekend where I realized that I missed 2 episodes of one of my favorite shows airing this season. So it's time to do a double review, and of course we'll get back to singular reviews with the new episode this week. The Sagrada episode 20 and 21 were both phenomenal episodes, with episode 20 being very interesting, literally kicking it off where everyone is forgetting that they ever had powers except for K. K being the one to be able to remember everything. It's like destroying his head because he realizes of the future that was implanted in everyone's mind, but at the same time he remembers the other one, and it's this whole kind of like battle of how do you get back to the way they were before, because Haruki's been reverted, she no longer has her reset ability. But what's interesting is they bring back into play the picture ability, where the old man who is able to take the pictures, if you rip it in the spot that it was taken, you can go back to that time where it was taken for 10 minutes on end, which then implants the memory of Haruki's when she used to have her abilities. But it's this kind of battle because she's fighting between the memories that she has currently and the ones she used to have, but ultimately what ends up happening is, if you remember within the first couple of episodes of Sagrada, her ability was only ever to be used when she saw someone crying, but then later on it became she was only ever going to use it if Kay told her to reset. So because Kay is crying, that actually triggers her to use her reset, which reverts her back to the normal time frame, which I thought was brilliant, and I loved how they brought that back into play, because this was the question: how are they going to be able to bring Haruki back? Because they have to. We still haven't finished the show. We're still too early into the series before there could be a horrible timeline, so I loved how they did that. But episode 21, even more amazing, because what I love about Sagrada is it's not the series that just makes stuff up as it goes. Everything that happens, it has a logical explanation, and it happens because of things that have already been laid out in the earlier episodes, and in some cases within the first few episodes of this 24 episode series. The fact that ultimately that they used an ability that we haven't seen used in a while, which I don't think we've seen used since the first few episodes of the series, where it's a guy who, if he touches the 2 people, he can transfer their ability to the other person. And what they need to do is essentially they need to use Soma's ability to be able to see the future, to predict how to do everything. So once again, they use the picture of seeing Soma in the past, and essentially it's this whole kind of game of cat and mouse where the fake Soma is trying to run away from the people going after the guy who's trying to destroy abilities in Sagrada. And at the same time, you're doing this whole kind of game of cat and mouse. He has to be able to ask the right questions, figure out the proper future to do this path. But I love how it's not like abilities were introduced just for this episode. Instead, they were using abilities that we've seen earlier in the season and stuff that has been laid out constantly throughout the series. So it never feels like they're just pulling something out of their ass. It always feels like everything is happening from things we've already seen, and it shows how complex of a series this truly is. It's a writer who knew exactly where he wanted the series to go, and it's doing everything so damn beautiful. And by the time they leave that photo, by the time Kay knows what he needs to do for his future, by the time he's able to basically save fake Soma from basically a scene that we thought she was going to die in, it was just amazing, and I love how carefully planned everything is. And it's why it's so disappointing to see so many fans of David Production nag on them because this isn't JoJo Part 5, so they think it's just trash. When in actuality, we're getting something so complex, something that is so remarkable for modern anime, because this is not the style of modern anime most people want to see. And I love that David Production said, you know what, before we do a next JoJo part, let's do this instead because this is something special. And I appreciate it. Even if the vast majority of anime fans are bashing this, calling it slow or dry, there's so much substance to this, and I'm loving it non-stop. But I have to say, the music as well, and just the voice acting has been on point with the past couple of episodes, really heightening the atmosphere and emotion of these scenes, where sometimes you may see some pretty basic animation and the art design has always been pretty much consistent, but there has been some pretty mediocre animation off and on in the past couple of episodes. But the emotion and the power within these episodes have really just ceased to drop. Especially when Kay gets to see his mother and learn that he has a sister, and he apologizes to his mother, making her think that he's just practicing apologizing so he can do it later, when in actuality he's basically apologizing for everything that he's done. The range and power of Kay crying in these episodes was just amazing, and I love how everything is just coming full circle, and it gives you the sense of hope that things could have a happy ending, but you never truly know. But I love how these powers are working together. It's literally Kay taking hold and using the powers, becoming the MacGuffin in a lot of ways, controlling the MacGuffin, controlling the powers in this town, and I love how everything's happening here, and I'm dying to see where it's gonna go. I love this series. Seriously, it's such an amazing series, and more people need to get on board this. Hopefully, once it ends, more people will give this a shot, say, wonder why it has such a low rating on sites like My Anime List, and then say, wow, this was amazing. This was definitely the underdog when it aired, because it definitely is. But let me know your thoughts. For the people who have been following this show, I know there isn't a lot of us following this show these days, but for anyone who is, let me know your thoughts, just how much you're enjoying this series overall. Let me know, and before you leave, please be sure to like the video, to share your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.